Hello Year 3, this is your science video for today. Now what we are going to be looking at over the next few weeks is a new topic that we've not looked at yet, and it is light. Now our learning objective for today is to recognise that we need light in order to see things, and that dark is the absence of light. So let's move on. Throughout the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to pause the video at certain points so that you can have a discussion with a grown-up or a partner, brother, sister, and then you can write down some ideas and answers down as well, okay? So my first question to you is, what do we know about light? So as I've done in there, I've done a circle, and I want you to spider diagram all your different ideas about what you know about light so far. So pause the video and write all your different ideas down. Go, go, go. Right, the next thing we're going to look about is, what is a light source? Now, I'm going to tell you this without you having to talk about it. So a light source is something that brings us light, okay? So we've got some natural light sources, and then we've got some man-made light sources too. So two natural light sources that we have, first of all, is the sun. The sun is around during daylight hours, and it brings us lots of light sources, and it also helps charge up solar panels as well, which can bring us electricity, doesn't it? So that is one of the light sources that we know of. The other one comes out at night time, and you've probably guessed it, it's the moon. Now that doesn't bring as much light as the sun, but it still can bring light. Other light sources that we have are things like TVs, lights, lamps. We have things like phones. Phones can bring us lights too, torches. There's lots of other little things in houses that can bring light. Now, when all these things are turned off, when we're inside, when it's night time, so the moon isn't coming in our house, the light from the moon isn't coming in, there's no sunlight, we are sat in the dark. Now, darkness is when there is an absence of light, and that means when there is no light around us. No light is getting in, and it is just dark. So it's basically the opposite of light, isn't it? So this question, I'll just move myself down. Why can we see some things with little light? Now, there is a bit of a myth that if you eat lots of carrots, you can see in the dark. I bet most of you have heard that. Now, I'm really sorry to tell you, Year 3, and I'm really, really sorry to spoil this, grown-ups, but eating carrots do not help you see in the dark. Such a shame. I thought I'd be a superhero then. Eating carrots don't help you see in the dark because you can't see in the dark without any light. Now, it would be a good idea, wouldn't it? It would be amazing. You need some light in a room to help you see, and sometimes there's no light at all. Sometimes there's a little bit being reflected off different surfaces, and that helps you see. So that's answered my next question. Can light be reflected? Yes. Yes, light can be reflected. It can be reflected off things like windows, off televisions, off phones. You'll be able to see the light being reflected off my phone there. You can, light can be reflected off metal things like cars, lots of different things. The glass on the light bulbs, it can be reflected from. So that helps the light really, really shine brightly in different rooms, outdoors, in lots of different places. And like I said, without light, we'd just be in complete darkness, wouldn't we? So what we're going to do today, we're going to do a little bit of an experiment. Now, experiments at home are a little bit different because we've got to use what we have available to us. Now, Miss Dunn's thought about this experiment, about what you might have in your bedroom. Now, you don't have to do it in your bedroom. I just thought that might be a place that might be quite dark. So, what we're going to do, first of all, I'd like to choose a room in your house that might be dark. And then, as shown, I'd like you, on the top here, I'd like to think about all the different things that might be in your bedroom or the room that you've chosen. So I've chosen for a child's bedroom, a bed, mirror, cushions, a chair, some teddies, curtains, maybe you got some toys there, you'll have a door and maybe a wardrobe as well. Now, what I'd like to think about underneath is a prediction on which objects will be easier or harder to see when there is less light. And I really want you to think about why. So, might it be harder to see your teddies than seeing a mirror? Might it be easier to see your curtains than seeing your door? And I'd like you to write in sentences, please, on what objects you think might be easier or harder to see when there is less light and why. So pause the video here and can you write out your experiment? Off you go, 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 go. Right, year 3. So the next thing you're going to do, you're going to go into that room that you've chosen and you are going to carry out your experiment. So what I'd do, I'd make sure the lights are turned off, maybe the curtains of the blinds are closed so that you can try and make it as dark as possible. Then what I'd do is I'd go around looking for all these different objects that you've wrote in this first box and see if you can see them. Have a good look. Make sure you don't bang your toes, please. I don't want anybody walking around and hurting themselves. That would be very, very silly, wouldn't it? Have a good look. See if you can see these objects. Pause the video. Off you go. Right, superstars. So we are going to move on to our next part now. So let me move myself again. I'm getting in the way of this video, aren't I? So we are going to have a look at this box. Now, this is going to be on the sheet for today, but it looks a bit complicated because I've put my own ideas in there to help you a little bit. So, the first box here, it says, can the objects be seen with very little light? Now, Miss Dunn's done it as in her bedroom, so what she can see. So I've wrote, yes, the bed can be seen with more light as the light reflects from the metal bars. So I've gone into my bedroom, I've looked at my bed and I've realised that the light, even though my room is in darkness, the light from outside is still reflecting in through my curtains and bouncing off the metal on my bed. Then it says, can they be seen with more light? So can my bed be seen with more light? So yes, my bed can be seen with more light and I can see the whole object. I can see the whole bed. So the last box, and it says, was your prediction correct? So your prediction from here, was my prediction correct about my bed? So no, my prediction was not correct. I thought I would not be able to see the bed, yet I could. So I thought maybe I wouldn't be able to see my bed at all, but I could still see a little bit, even though it was dark in my room. So you can have a go at doing this for different objects in your room. There are 3 different boxes that you will have. The final activity, year 3, after you've done that, is oh, it's not the final activity. Oh, Miss Dunn's got excited there. What I'd like to do is I'd like to explain why some objects are easier to see than others when there is less light. And I want you to try and use these words underneath. So there's material, shiny, dull, bright, colour, big and small. So try and use those words, just going into a little bit of detail on why some objects are easier to see than others when there is less light. That'll be interesting to find out, won't it? Pause the video, off you go, go, go. Right, I promise you this is the final activity now. So if I go on to my next slide, it says complete the paragraph below by explaining what you have learnt. So this is a part where you've got to fill in the missing gaps. So you need to use all that knowledge that you've learnt today and all that knowledge that you've gained and fill in these missing gaps. So we need to see things. I wonder what that will be. A light source is so that can be lots of different ideas on that line. What can a light source be? And then it says some examples of light sources are, and then you can go into a little bit more detail there. And then it says here, darkness is, what did Miss Dunn say darkness was? With light. See if you can remember. Maybe you can go back on the video and check. The next part It is dark at night time because why is it dark at night? Think about all those different sources. When there is less light, it is what to see the difference between colours. And that is your final activity for today. You can either print that out, what I've done, it is on the class page for today, or you could write it out yourself and underline those words that you've added. I hope you've enjoyed science today, year 3, on to learning about light next week too. Have fun, see you soon, bye bye.